take a look at it. All right, Tone.
Yeah.
It's time for news from around the realm of pop culture. It's on the Discord. I will check it out after the show, man, and if it's good, we'll see if we can throw it up here next week and dive into it. I mean, I'm all about trailers, man. I'm all about it. But Tone, a couple stories we wanted to talk about. The first one that we want to address was some big ass news.
Fucking wild.
Regarding WWE Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning January 2025. Netflix will be showing Monday Night Raw for the next 10 years. Live. Not a recording.
No.
Live. Tone, this is big news.
Big for an app. I mean, maybe you do or don't know this, but Monday Night Raw is the longest consecutive running TV show of all time. That's huge.
What's number one, MASH?
This is MASH.
Oh, okay.
This is number one. This is the longest running.
Oh, past MASH. Okay.
This is the longest live running television show of all time. Period.
Wow.
So that's a lot of money just generally, just to say that, advertising, etc. So yeah, I mean, they've been searching and looking to do something different. Well, I don't know what all the intricacies with USA Network. I mean, they've bounced around from TNN, before, at one point as well too. So they move around every so often, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have been searching. We'll get into a couple more things from some of the other guys around the wrestling world too, but they have been looking for somewhere to go.
Right.
To do something different or whatever it is. I don't know how, of course, SmackDown's going to play into this quite yet. I'm assuming it's still kind of separate. It's a different brand. It's going to be on live TV, but my guess is they were over and done with somehow with USA. I don't know what or why. That's just my guess, but I don't know. You mentioned Triple H. Triple H has done great for creative. This would be Nick Khan. That would be.
I think this is more of a Nick Khan thing.
This is a Nick Khan thing, because keep in mind too, they also announced this week that The Rock is going to be part of like some of the board as well too now.
Yeah, he bought a stake in it, and I think he actually controls everything The Rock now. Like like anything to do with The Rock, he owns now.
Big stuff. So that's pretty crazy. So, but yeah, this is huge for wrestling. This is huge for wrestling's competition, if you have competition, which they do, but man, I just never thought I would see something like this. And honestly, listen, Netflix needed a win. Netflix needed, and I made that joke, Britt, and I'm not a joke. I made that joke, and today they actually there's articles.
They're getting rid of their ad-free tier.
Yeah, so they're already trying to get money out of everybody for this. So it's definitely gonna happen. But Netflix needed a big get like this, I do feel like, because they need to, in my opinion, like, they're not as good as what they originally were. Like, there's other apps like that I care about. There's certain big things that they have that
like
are
Stranger
great.
Things, yeah.
Right, and I still appreciate that when they put out a series, they put it out and I can binge it. I'm a binge watcher. That's what I prefer, because I can manage my time better that route. So, but getting something like Monday Night Raw, getting potentially, after losing some viewership because they're different, they can't figure out what they want to price anything. This is going to potentially bring them some pretty big revenue as well too, and
it better,
and advertising revenue as well too. So that's pretty huge.
So we do know. Here's some of the details from this deal. The deal is valued at $500 million per year for 10 years. So a whopping $5 billion is at stake here. Netflix has the option to opt out after the initial 5 years and to extend for an additional 10. Sources say WWE's current 5-year deal for U.S. rights to Raw with NBC Universal is worth approximately $250 million per year.
Comes down to
They're doubling the fucking pay for this shit for Netflix. WWE's current deal with NBC Universal has Raw airing on USA Network until October of this year.
Okay.
Under the deal, Netflix will become the exclusive home of Raw in the U.S., Canada, and the U.K., Latin America, and other territories once the deal begins, with more countries and regions to follow over time. Netflix will also become the television home for all WWE shows outside the U.S. That includes fellow weekly shows SmackDown,
NXT, and everything too.
NXT, as well as annual live events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and the Royal Rumble, as well as documentaries, original series, and additional product. Again, they will be responsible for all WWE shows outside the U.S.
I didn't realize that. So that means outside. Okay.
Netflix will also become the television home for all WWE shows outside the U.S. That includes SmackDown, NXT.
So inside the U.S., though, we're only getting Raw. Is that what that's saying?
I believe that's what they're saying.
That's as a wrestling fan, the UK and a lot of other places don't have to pay for the fucking pay-per-views. They just watch them like Skynet or whatever it is, like Sky TV or whatever it is.
That's what SmackDown. SmackDown NXT is
that's their other. That's their other brand. That's the other show's weekly brands.
But they do that through pay-per-view. Like you have
no, it's on other TV shows. So I'm just saying that's really fucking annoying that it's not all going to be on there. It is just Raw for for North America or United States, because we always get fucked on that shit and the rest of the world does not. And I don't know if it's got to do with like how their TV rights work, advertising. I don't know, but it's really frustrating. So NordVPN, what up? Basically is what you got to say to that. But I don't know how they're going to run the pay-per-views, and so there's still some things I feel like I need clarified. But at the end of the day, I can always get it Raw.
You can always get it Raw. Just like you like it.
Now,
here's the thing, man. And I'll be curious to see it. And I think Jay Hill's the one that pointed this out, or maybe it was Trick. But again, I'm old, so I'll give credit to both. But there was a discussion on Pat McAfee's show where they were wondering, like, because of how much this is costing, Netflix is paying $500 million per year for the next 10 years. Monday Night Raw, yes, is the longest running show, but if you start to look at, like, for example, Monday Night Football, that's on like 4 different channels now. You have like the Manning brothers doing their own thing on Monday nights on their own channel. You've got different broadcasts on NBC or on ABC and ESPN. There was talks that like they might actually have to look at moving Raw to another night so they're not losing some of that audience to Monday Night Football because of how expensive this is.
That's possible. I would say this though to that too, but like I know some of us watch a little bit of everything. But the fact that it's on an app and you can put it on your app over here and still I watch 2 or 3 screens at one time, so it doesn't affect me, right? But I'm also saying like in Raw, that sort of wrestling, their wrestling specifically targets younger kids. So those younger kids probably aren't as much going to be watching Raw. Now, I'm not saying that that's a good idea because I get it, but they've been doing it for 30 plus fucking years as it is.
Sure.
So I don't know why that's even like if they've been doing it that long. What's the point? I guess even bringing that up. So
Khan said it's not out of the question that they move it. Amazon Prime like tripled their numbers this year on Thursday Night Football alone. I mean that's fucking monster numbers, dude. And then but see, I feel like this is where this is the problem with it too. Because I mean shit, man, in the playoffs. Just last week, I think it was, Peacock was the exclusive home to one of the playoff games. Yeah, and people were like, "Dude, really?" It's like
it's getting out of control.
Yeah, you got to pay for a month.
Yeah,
just to watch the fucking the game. That is some weak ass shit.
It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, that's out of control. When you take something that's typically on local stations and put it behind a paywall, that's shame on the NFL for
15 years ago, me bitching about cable TV and not being able to a la carte the things I want, not have.
Oh, people did do it,
and all this shit, and now all of a sudden, we're back full circle. So.
Oh, it was absolutely huge. I mean, if the Detroit, I'm just saying it's a shitty practice, but I agree. I mean, if people are gonna do it, I mean that's that. And I mean, the thing is, like, you either vote with your wallet and don't watch the game,
bend the knee like everybody else,
or listen to it on the radio. But if you're hosting people, you got people coming over, you want to watch the fucking game, you're gonna pay for that month. And that's all they care about, man. Because once they see those numbers and they see, oh look, this guy signed up just for this game. We'll do 6 games next year.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just, dude, I'm still paying for Peacock 4 years later so I can watch that Halloween movie. You forget about it. Yeah. That's why they do it, though. They know people will buy it. They will. And it's shitty. And the same people that buy it are the same people on social media going, fuck you, NBC. Fuck you and your shitty practice. And then they're like, okay, so what's my credit card number? I got to sign up for fucking
Right.
Peacock.
It says, well, the only reason I have it right now is for like WWE pay-per-views and shit, too. So it's like fucking, they get me every time. Oh, new WWE pay-per-view will come on. They'll get a month of it for $5. I'll watch the fucking ads even if I got to. Like, it's ridiculous. But what I do want to say in counter with this, I know it's not totally listed out there, but this is going along with, because originally earlier this year, for a while, we've been hearing that AEW has been trying to get their buddies over there with WB because they're, within the Turner stuff, to try and get them on Max and get some of their content out there, whether live, I don't know, or just whatever. And there was rumors in December-ish or maybe even November that they might have even been talking to WWE. Like WB was like kind of prodding them maybe. We don't know clearly. It could have been. I don't know. They ended up with Netflix. But now because of that, now it's coming back around that there's more talks that AEW and the WB thing's really kind of kicking up again too. So there's that. And then same day after all this stuff, now TNA rebranded itself back to TNA after Impact. And now they're saying, and we've been seeing this for about a month and a half as well too. They're looking for a TV deal, something we're working out as well.
Everybody is, dude.
So right. So and it's all because of these fucking apps, because everybody's moving away from actual just cable TV. People want to pick and choose what they want. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you're a wrestling fan, it's a good time for you.
Jay Hill says, I'm waiting for the next platform where you can bundle a bunch of these apps together in a package instead of having to. Dude, they're gonna have to, man, because like 10 years ago, everyone's like, "Oh, cool! I can just, pay $7.99 for this."
Well,
and
Netflix
get this
had
show.
everything,
everything,
and then NBC's like, "Oh, you got an app for your shit? I'm gonna take The Office and Parks and Rec off and start our fucking dumb app."
All these fucking companies are like, and then they're like, "Well, we got to compete with them, so we got to pay this for this," and then their price goes up, and then and all of a sudden, dude, like Carlos said, $49.95 for Netflix in 2025 doesn't sound like a fucking reach anymore,
right?
And then at that point, okay, so now you're gun to your head, like, oh man, do I go with Netflix and Disney and HBO and that's it? Or like, it's and don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, dude, if they start working those numbers to where it's like cheaper to sign up for a year than it is like 6 months or a month.
I'd rather pay all than bundle.
But I mean, the price will be high. But they'll find a way for the optics to make it look like,
you're saving 34% if you do it right now. Oh, 34.
Yeah, it's wild, man. But no, this news broke, and this was huge. I mean, $5 billion here, dude.
A lot of fucking money to wave your dick at.
Yeah,
so
that's huge news. So starting January 25th, Monday Night Raw will be live.
2025, right?
2025. Yep. So we got one more year. This is it. This is the last year of Raw.
This is it.
And then it's heading to Netflix. But let me buy my episodes a la carte, dude. I would love that, man. Like if I on Netflix, just let me buy the season of Stranger Things when it comes out. But I mean, then you're getting down. They'll never do that. They want that fucking.
They want that residual.
They want that big lump sum up front. They don't want to fucking give you that option, and they never will because they know you're gonna pay for it anyways.
Yeah.
It's wild, man. All right, Tone. Other bit of news this week: the Oscars. Oscar nominations dropped. There was a lot of them. There was a little bit of controversy.
Still is even today. Whoopi Goldberg had to talk about it.
Who did?
Whoopi.
Oh boy.
She basically said that the people that are doing the voting, they must be seeing something in other people. So if Margot Robbie and these other people that are crying or whatever that they didn't get it, you had other competition. Sorry, it's not a trophy for everybody, kind of thing.
Tone is referencing the news surrounding the movie Barbie, where obviously there was a supporting act. Mind you, it wasn't like everyone got robbed or got snubbed. America Ferrera got nominated for Barbie and a supporting actress role, but by all accounts, I mean the people that made Barbie happen were Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig, the director. Two people who were really, really good. I've seen Barbie. I thought it was a decent play. I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't think it was amazing. I thought it was entertaining. I just watched it with the wife. I was like, okay, it's got some funny moments. Ken's kind of a fucking douchebag. First off, do people even watch the movie, or are they just adding anything? I mean, who knows, dude? All I do know is that it's not a good look that, and again, I think Ryan Gosling was really good as Ken. He was fucking hilarious as Ken. I mean, he was just the epitome of like what's wrong with everything. Greta and Margot should have gotten that now. I agree 100%. I really thought that Margot was really good as Barbie. Now, as far as the movie being nominated or like Greta Gerwig, I'll be indifferent on that. I'll listen to every argument and this and that and whatnot. But like the movie wasn't like incredible to me. It was entertaining, but it wasn't incredible. But like I do like Margot's performance. I thought she was great as Barbie. She was awesome. Ryan Gosling was awesome. There is a scene, and I think that is with America Ferrera, where she like kind of goes into this monologue where she's kind of like explaining things about how to get Barbie back. That is actually really, really good. I thought it was a really strong monologue. It was really, really good. Big fan of that scene. So I think she is very well deserving of her nomination. Greta Gerwig, I'm indifferent on because I didn't think the movie was great. But I do think Margot Robbie was really good. And but at the same time, to be fair, I haven't seen Naiad. I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon. I haven't seen Maestro. So I haven't seen the movies that these other women are nominated in. And I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, I could go watch those movies and be like, okay, I mean, they're really good and they're much better than Margot, and then I would understand it. But like, for what I saw, Margot was really good in that movie. But like, I understand also that how it's not really a great look that Gosling was the one that got nominated, you know, about a movie that's like the opposite of what they're going for. And I mean, he did put out a pretty good quote. I really liked his response here. He said, I'm extremely honored to be nominated by my colleagues alongside such remarkable artists in a year of so many great films. I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm also incredibly honored and proud that it's portraying a plastic doll named Ken. But there is no Ken without Barbie, and there is no Barbie without Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie, the two people most responsible for this history-making, globally celebrated film. No recognition would be possible for anyone on the film without their talent, grit, and genius. To say that I'm disappointed that they are not nominated in their respective categories would be an understatement. Against all odds, with nothing but a couple of soulless, scantily clad, and thankfully crotchless dolls, they made us laugh, they broke our hearts, they pushed the culture, and they made history. Their work should be recognized along with their other well-deserving nominees. Having said that, I am so happy for America Ferrera and the other incredible artists who contribute their talents to making this such a groundbreaking film. End quote, Ryan Gosling. So again, it's one of those things, man, where like I guess it really just depends on the movie itself and your perspective on things. I do think Margot Robbie, with her performance, should have been considered for it. I mean, but again, I haven't seen the other performances, so I can't really go based off of that. But in terms of like the overall movie itself, it had some strong points, but it didn't really like blow my mind. It really didn't move me one way or the other. I thought it was entertaining, but I'm not so much disappointed by the Greta Gerwig snub, but like Margot Robbie, that one I can understand a little bit more.
Sure. That's fair.
And speaking of snubs, going back to that, there was a lot of people who were kind of shocked that Zac Efron was not mentioned in the conversation for Iron Claw. And a lot of people were like, oh, well, why did Zac Efron not get nominated? How did Iron Claw not get nominated? Same thing as like Barbie. Iron Claw, to me, was a really good movie. But because we talked about it the last show, it could have been great.
Yeah.
And had they done things a little bit differently, then I would listen to the conversation for Best Picture. I would listen to that conversation. But as of right now, the story itself, the movie itself, it was good, but nothing I'd be like, oh my God, that's incredible. Now, Zac Efron's performance, I thought he was really, really good. I thought he was really, really good. But at the same time, I haven't seen Maestro. I did see The Holdovers. That movie is actually fucking awesome with Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti is really good in that. Obviously, I think Cillian Murphy was amazing in Oppenheimer. I actually want to see that American Fiction because Jeffrey Wright is fucking just a great actress. I know he's probably good in that. But I can't sit there and say Zac Efron's better than all those people. But if you were to tell me, Holdovers is phenomenal. That is a fucking really fucking awesome movie, like powerful movie. But like I would listen to a Zac Efron argument before I would listen to Best Picture argument.
Sure, that's fair.
So, but some of the other things, anything stand out to you, Tony? I mean, I really like seeing. Obviously, well, let's talk about it.
We got the big one,
the King.
Yeah. Goji got nominated for visual effects, right?
Visual effects. Godzilla -1, the first ever Godzilla movie,
right, to
be considered by the Academy. Godzilla -1 for visual effects. And I don't know if you saw that video I posted of the -1 crew. When they announced that, it was a fucking party in a boardroom with those people. It was hilarious and endearing to watch.
Yeah. And I would, my biggest for me on that personally is like, for picture. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I
would have, I mean, I don't know about Best Picture, but like, I would have loved to have seen best foreign film. Best
foreign film. I guess
I really would like to have seen that get some love.
More like, I guess my want would be Best Picture. Yeah. But yes.
At least give them best foreign film. It's the best performing Japanese movie ever.
Yeah.
In the U.S.
Yeah.
Ever.
So like that seems like kind of a weird thing to not have happen.
But at the same time, Godzilla movie got nominated for a fucking Oscar.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's really what it's all about, is the fact that somebody watched that movie and said,
and visually, when you look at the list, truth be told, like, we've all been pretty critical about Marvel. They're not up against a fucking hard lot. Creator is the only one on there.
The Creator, I've heard, is a visually stunning movie.
Very stunning. So
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon are the other.
Let's watch how we shit on De Niro over there, buddy.
No. If you've seen one of De Niro's performances, you've seen.
Yeah, that's that. Remember what I told you last night about Facebook about being consistent? There, you're not being consistent.
The Oscars are. I'm actually going to see Godzilla -1 Color this weekend. I'm going to go see that on Friday. I am really excited to see that because I don't know if you saw the trailer for that black and white. It looks fucking hot, dude.
I don't want. But if I try to sit there that long, I'll die and piss people off.
I don't want you to do that, so I'm not inviting you. So, but no, I mean, like I said, it's just really great to see a Godzilla movie that was by all accounts made for less than $10 million. Not only go on to be one of the most profitable Japanese movies ever made, but also one of the most revered, well-received Godzilla movies ever.
Yeah,
all on $10 million, bro.
From people who aren't even Godzilla fans or never even cared for Godzilla until they saw this, or even just enjoyed the movie for what it was.
De Niro wasn't the best actor, and his performance was good, but Oscar. I actually still have to watch it, so I can't really go one way or the other on that. But I just know the guy's an incredible talent.
I'm just saying, like, when you say something like De Niro's performance, you've seen them all, basically. Like, I'm not gonna even entangle that thought process. Sorry,
I would disagree with that.
Yeah, that's very controversial.
Well, let me see here. So, best supporting actor: Sterling Brown, American Fiction, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr. I'm really happy about that. He actually won a Golden Globe for his performance in Oppenheimer. He was fucking awesome in that. Ryan Gosling and Barbie, Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. Best Supporting Actress, Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer. She was awesome in that. Daniel Brooks, The Color Purple, American Ferrera, Barbie. Jodie Foster, hey, there you go. She's making a big comeback this year. Niad. And Davine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. Best Actor, Bradley Cooper and Maestro. Coleman Domingo and Rustin. Paul Giamatti, Holdovers. Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer. Jeffrey Wright. Best Actress, Annette Bening and Niad. Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon. Sandra Holler, Anatomy of a Fall. I don't know if I've even seen a trailer for that fucking thing. Carey Mulligan, going for number 4. Maestro and Emma Stone, Poor Things. Best Director, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer. Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest. And Justin Triet, Anatomy of the Fall. But now, Best Picture, Tone. These are the movies up for Best Picture. American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
Pretty fucking stacked list, assumingly. I mean, a lot of that.
It's Crash. Have you ever seen Bad Grandpa? Yeah, that's kind of a hot shit movie though. But overall, man, I mean, like I said, man, I understand some of the arguments for some of the performances. But I understand why some movies didn't get nominated for Best Picture and stuff like that. But, man, I tell you what, like I said, it was just really exciting to see Godzilla get that love. I mean, honestly, man, there's been a lot of Godzilla movies over the years that have done a lot of practical effects that never, ever kind of got that recognition just because of Godzilla and just what it is.
Yeah, my favorite movie last year, hands down.
But for $10 million to make a fucking Godzilla movie, and then finally, after how much do all these other legendary movies cost? And I don't think none of them have ever gotten recognized for best visual effects. And they pumped $250 million or more into these movies, and this guy spends $10 million. Fucking Oscar for best visual effects. Make it make sense.
Knowing what you get your hands on, I guess.
That is fantastic news. Again, really excited for that. But it'll be curious to see. I think the Oscars are on March 10th. So if you get time, go see some of these movies. Go check them out. A lot of them are on streaming already. Some of them are still in theaters, but by all accounts, you can find these on streaming apps or buy them digitally and check them out and vote. Form your own opinion of who deserved to be nominated or who got snubbed.